Shalom Aleichem. Peace. This is Tracy Lene Muhammad, and I, of course, wanted a few minutes of your very valuable and your very precious time to share with you some thoughts from my morning sit with my ancestors. I know that I have been guilty of this, comparing my circumstances and situation to other people, asking God, why is this happening to such and such, but I'm doing such and such and it's not happening for me? I stopped doing it a long time ago because I understand that we each have a unique footprint, a blueprint for our lives, and so it's not going to look the same for somebody else the way it looks for you. But what came to me this morning as I was sitting with my ancestors is, it's kind of disrespectful to my spirit team and my guides and those who love me and support me and have the best interests for me to compare myself to somebody else. Even if it's seemingly the exact same situation, the outcome cannot be the same because we're not the exact same person. Understanding that comparing your circumstances to somebody else's circumstances is kind of saying that you don't have a team dedicated to you to help you, and they may see things differently. Even with weight loss and the way bodies work, you'll say, well, two people are doing the same workout, but only one is losing weight. So we normally would say, well, then this one must not be doing something right. Perhaps it's just not the workout for her body type. I found that out very recently. And now I'm seeing a weight loss. I would walk for 10 miles a day, eat very little food, but I wasn't losing weight. And I thought it was because, well, maybe I'm not eating very little food enough, or I'm snacking, or I was making it all of the things that had to be wrong with me because somebody else that I knew was walking 10 miles a day and weight was just falling off. And they were eating more than I was eating. They still were losing weight. After meditating on it, I asked that my spirit team bring me what's going to work for me, or tell me I said, tell me what to do, because I've been doing this and I'm not really getting any results. And they brought me HIIT training, where it is quick burst on and off. And I thought, I can't do that because I can't do that high intensity jumping much, but I said, I'm going to try it. And after 2 days of doing those jumping jacks, my meniscus tear that I got when I was in college, I think I told you all this story. I was infatuated with this beautiful man, and he used to run all the time. So I'm running with him, and one morning he calls me and he says, come on, let's go run. And it had been snowing and icy, and I was like, no. And he said, come on, you need to get up and let's do this. No excuses. So I get up and I go run in the snow and ice, and I slip. I didn't fall, but my leg went a weird way, and I felt something pop and tear, and it was a lot of pain. Fast forward a few weeks later, now that pain, so I hopped back to the car, and he took me home. And maybe like a week later, he dumped me. Just said it wasn't working, wasn't really looking for what I was looking for. And I said, I ran in the snow for you. and he's like, huh? And I'm like, I went running in the snow. I would never run in the snow. You should have dumped me last week. Anyway, so that tear acts up sometimes. So as I was doing these jumping jacks, the tear acted up. But my mind automatically went to, you're just too heavy. Your body is too heavy. You can't support your knees. All of these negative thoughts came in mind. I forgot all about the tear, and I went right to the negative parts of why I had this pain, this injury. But I was determined to keep trying the HIIT because I felt like I knew that it was brought from my spirit team. I spoke to somebody that's a personal trainer, and he gave me some low impact options, and I've been doing those, and I am definitely seeing results. So the HIIT works for me. Then I was getting really hungry, and I used to subscribe that you should only eat one meal a day. That's for perfect health. That's for everything. But that wasn't working for me to lose weight because my body was holding on, storing it. I do believe everything cannot be a one size fit all, but I was making things one size fit all. Once I stopped doing that, once I stopped making things a one size fit all, I started to recognize that I was doing exactly what I said I shouldn't do, which was deciding that what works for somebody else has to work for me. And that just is not true. Understanding now that we each have a unique blueprint, and it also helped me to stop judging other people and stop deciding what they should be doing based upon what I would be doing. That's all anybody can ever do. When they give you advice, they're only giving you advice based upon what they would do in the situation, because that's the only reference point they have is that, unless they're very enlightened people, when you ask them for advice, they say, well, what do you think you should do? Let's talk through this. And they allow you to come to the conclusion because they understand that you're the only person that can do that. I said this a million times, and I feel like I need to keep saying it, only so that you know that I'm not coming from a religious point of view. I do not subscribe to one set of rules, and one religion is the only way. One name is better than the other. If you don't do it this way, you're damned to hell. There are 8 billion people on the planet. I don't believe that there's just one person over 8 billion people. For me, that just does not resonate in my brain. I believe in a team of guides and angels, and I believe that it started with this creation. I don't even think that the creation had to start with just one. I believe that the creation came out of the womb of woman, and that's many women, and they brought forth man from that womb and decided to share the responsibility, because sharing not only is caring, but there's something beautiful in growing into understanding with another person. I used to believe that when you got married, you were going to grow into one. It's impossible to make two one, unless you're talking about two beings making one child. So then that way the two have become one, because the two become one flesh. I think it was really saying two people come together and make one child, or many children, but one at a time. Or even if you're identical twins, you're still one on your own. So that's what I think it means for that. I'm not saying that should mean it for anybody else, but that's what it means for me. When I think about religion, I think about these set of rules given by one person that they say God only talked to that one person, and he's here to tell all the rest of y'all that. That then does not give me a specific blueprint for my life. It can give you guides, but I'm also the person that I don't believe that if you say you are this religion, but you are not living it, you are not it. You just like to say it because you might need to feel to belong to something because you're very insecure. But if you tell me that you are a Christian, and then you are doing things that aren't Christ-like continuously, not you slip and fell, but you just laying and slithering like a snake, how are you calling yourself a Christian? But I'm not judging it. I'm pointing out to say you are something. That's like if I walked up to you and said to you, I'm Caucasian. You'd look at me and say, no, you're not, because I don't have the attributes of a Caucasian. So you would tell me I'm not that. So if I tell you that I am Christian or Muslim, and I'm not acting like a Christian or a Muslim, am I really that? And to use that age-old excuse, I'm striving. What are you striving for? You're not trying. In some religions, all religions have a doctrine of a way to be. If you tell me you're Catholic, and you tell me that you embedding those, what do you call, the word is coming. It's coming. Give me a second. You are the embodiment of what Catholicism stands for, but then you molest little boys. You're not a Catholic. And I'm using the obvious ones, but there are smaller ones too. If your religion says that you should not drink, and you are drinking, are you that religion? what I think is most people do what I am doing, they just don't say it. They pick and choose what works in the religion and they do that part. You find somebody that's really good at one part and not good at the other. And instead of saying, well, I'm just picking from every religion, they have to belong to something. It's like traditional to belong to something. What's been working for me is studying all of the religious schools of thoughts and finding the parts in them that connect to me. That's a part of my soul purpose. And then not giving a good goddamn what people think about me doing that. Somebody said to me once, you're just all over the place. You can't be all of those religions at once. And I said, no, you can't be all of those religions at once. I can be that because I can decide for myself what works. No, you don't get to decide. God decides. And that's them and their ego deciding what God is for me. I don't subscribe to that anymore. And there's so many different freedoms that happen. I do believe that being kind and being morally upright is more important than calling yourself a religion. I have a friend she says that she's an atheist. She does not believe in the spiritual principles of any of the religions, but she has high morals and high character. In my opinion, her morals and character make her a stronger person than somebody who's telling me that they are a certain religion and they are liars or thieves or do things that's not what you do when you're in a religion. But that's what your religion says you shouldn't do. You say you are a Jehovah's Witness, but you are living literally a low life, doing whatever you want to do anytime you want to do it at the detriment of others. I do not believe that if you're doing something that doesn't hurt anybody else that you're wrong, because it ain't hurting nobody. So it's not wrong. Like if you are an alcoholic, but it doesn't affect anybody else but you, that's your right. But when you start affecting other people, especially children, that's when, in my opinion, you are... My son said something to me, and it's true. He said, people are all arguing over everybody's opinions because it's all just opinions. The facts of somebody else's doesn't make it the fact of you. Some things, he said, we've just concluded, we all agree. We all agree that a tree is a tree. So, but truthfully, if the tree could talk, would the tree say, I'm a tree? And then would that be the tree's opinion? It was really deep, and I thought that was a really good way of looking at things. It's all opinions. Well, I'm going to let you go because I really appreciate your time, and it's a beautiful Sunday morning. Just a little reminder, tomorrow is a full moon, and the full moon is in Aquarius. I said it wrong yesterday. I said it was in Leo. No, the new moon is in Leo. The full moon is in Aquarius. And so with this full moon in Aquarius, study Aquarius things and understand that you can then release those things as it relates to the Aquarius in you. And we are not yet in the age of Aquarius. Go study that too. It's so marvelous. Also, if you haven't had the opportunity, watch Black is King. It's amazing. And it allows you to really connect back to before we came to these shores of North America, what it is we practice and we believed in. I heard somebody say once, well, it didn't work because we got over here. I don't agree with that. It could be several things. The principles of the spirituality could have worked, but doesn't mean we were following it. Doesn't mean it. So maybe we weren't following, and that's why we're here. Perhaps this was a part of the journey to come back because we had lost our spiritual essence and understanding, and we allowed ourselves to be tricked by the trickster into doing things that were not for us. If you trace back the origins of all of the major religions, they all have pieces back to the Orishas and back to the original African traditions. So perhaps when we started adding and taking away and moving in our own way, we started picking up snake-like behavior, perhaps. I'm not saying that we did, but what I know is that there is so much power in the African spirituality, and it's working for me, and taking some of the things that I've learned in the Western way and the Eastern way of other religions, and really just flowing through a really peaceful and beautiful life, recognizing that struggle is not only ordained, but it's going to find me, because that's just a part of it. And I'm just trying to make my spiritual armor so thick that when it does come, that I have something to hold on to help get me through it. Thank you again for your time. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum. Peace out to Brooklyn and everywhere else.